It's time for another fun international video collaboration hosted by lovely Meg from Meg Journals. Today we will be sharing one of our favorite junk journal techniques with you. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. You can find a link to a playlist with all the participants in this fun international collaboration down below in the description box of the video. And we hope you will get tons of inspiration for working in your own journals. Thank you, Meg, for getting us all together again for such a fun project. So the technique I would like to share with you today is making your own stamps and how to use them in collages in your journal. So you probably know this journal if you know my channel. This is the beautiful journal from Nadia that I had bought from her. I will again link her Instagram below. This is the one I have been using for first my ASMR series. I will link that playlist for you below. And then that series developed into my junk journal snack series, which is still ongoing but took a break during December daily. And one of my most favorite pages in here is this one. I just love this. And it is so simple. There's only a few elements in here, and yet I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's very simple to do. So I will show you how to make a stamp like this one. So let me show you all of my tree stamps. So we have one, we have a tiny one, two, a little bigger, 3, 4, oops, there's an owl, 5, that's the biggest one. That's actually this one here. I also made some bird stamps, so here's some of those. And I have these 2 leaves. And you can also make, of course, random stamps like this. They're all made with foam, super easy. Lately, I've also been enjoying making some Egyptian stamps. So there's a cat. Actually, this is a goddess. Then here's the Eye of Ra or Horus. These were a little bit more tricky because, as you can see, they are a little finer. I only use scissors, and for these middle parts, I used my craft knife. So this is an Egyptian lotus flower. And this here is the key for eternal life, I believe. So let's make a tree. So what I use to cut out the stamps is just some foam rubber. I bought this one here. The one I used is 2 millimeters, so that's really not thick at all. Maybe you can see here. Very, very thin. You can find this in any craft store, either locally or online or on Amazon or probably on Etsy. What I like to do is, for inspiration, I like to find a picture on Google. So if you feel like you cannot draw at all, you can always print out a picture from Google. You could maybe search for image trees black and white if you wanted to do a tree. And then find one that doesn't look too complicated. You could print that out and just cut it out and then trace it. So that's one option. Or instead of cutting out, you could just take the print. If this was my print, I could then go over it with a pencil, just the outline. And then, as most of us have probably done as a child, we put it down like this, and then we again rub over it with a pencil. And then hopefully you should see your drawing on this side. It will be a mirrored image. So if you want to do this with text, that method is not going to work. But with a tree, I think it's totally fine. But I'm going to attempt to draw my own tree like I did with these. And I do like it when the branches kind of go off to the edge. So, I mean, like I cut them off here. I don't actually have them pointed out, but that's a personal preference. I kind of like that look. You see it here. So that's what I'm going for. So maybe I want a bit of a different shape now. And I'm going to use this image right here as a reference. So maybe I'll draw kind of a frame first so I know that I want to stay in that frame. don't want it much bigger than what I'm drawing now. And then you can just try to draw that tree. We'll see if I succeed. Now, I'm not trying to copy it, I'm just using it as inspiration. My branches are going to look different. I don't think I could draw it how it is in this photo. I actually don't know what I'm doing at the moment. This is kind of wrong. We're just gonna go with it. I have no idea what's going on here. Thankfully, I can sort of erase a little bit if you keep your sketch light. What is that? Okay, I have my shape now and I want to add some lines to it. Do you see here these lines? Those are just carved into the foam with the pencil. Maybe you can see them here a little bit. So maybe we want to make like an eye, a round thing. You know what I mean? So you just press a little harder. That, and then we can just, I don't know, make some, oops, make some lines. And now I'm just going to take my regular scissors and cut out the shape. This last piece here I need to do with my craft knife because I cannot get to it with my scissors. Since this foam is so thin, it is actually quite easy to do. And then that will just pop out like that. And now we just need to glue this onto a stiff surface. So I'm going to take this packaging piece here and I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. You use whatever glue you want. For this tree, it's nice to have a fine tip. That's why I chose this glue. Otherwise, I would have just used a tacky glue. Then we cut around our foam. And I also like to cut these edges off because they will usually get some ink or paint or whatever you're using, and I don't want that, so I like to cut those off. And then I like having the image of the stamp on this side. So I will just take a scrap piece of paper and stamp it on there once. Sometimes I use just black ink and sometimes I use my acrylic paint. What did I do on these here? These here, I think, I don't know, it's hard to say. I don't even know. I guess it's the ink. Let's try the ink first. We'll compare the two prints, once with the ink and once with the acrylic paint. Of course, the one with the acrylic paint will be a much higher contrast and a much darker print, which I usually prefer. But it's also fun to do them just with ink. And it doesn't have to be black ink, obviously. I just kind of like that look. It's always so exciting to see your first print of your new stamp. Okay, big reveal. Ta-da! That's actually quite cute. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll just cut this out. And then just make sure it, oops, this way. Make sure it fits. And then let's just glue that on. And of course that helps me position it better as well when I see the image on this side and not just have the foam on that side. Let's test it using some black acrylic paint. I'm just going to use my very handy finger tool. No need to get out a brush that I then have to wash. I love having fingers They're so convenient. Very fond of my fingers. I have some collage fodder here on which we could try printing it, see what that looks like. That could be a really fun print. I should probably wash my fingers first. But I can't wait. Ta-da! I love it. Wow, check out that background. That looks awesome. Ah, I love it. Let's try it on a different background. I also have this piece. Would it look good then with this piece? Maybe not so much. I have this kind of like parchment paper. Could look really cool on that. I think I need to try that. It has some other handmade stamps on it in gold. Oh yeah, and the background here you see is a jelly plate print using distress oxides that I experimented with a few months ago. I don't think I can ever get these kind of prints again. I don't know. I think they were pure luck. But they're gorgeous. I love them so much. And I think this will make a really cool background for this stamp. And then we can decide, maybe I'll do one more on another background, and then we can decide which one is the best for the journal and just find a very simple way to add it to the journal. I think that was too much paint. But still, it looks cool. I don't know, can you still tell it's a tree? Yeah, I think so. I also have this piece of a grocery bag. I wonder if I should just try it now without adding more paint. Let's try it, see if we get more detail. This might be a fail, but I have to try this. Ah, yeah, not bad actually. I like this one better. If we compare the two, I think this one on the left is better actually. Just shows a little bit more detail, I guess, but they're both fine. So I quickly dried all three, and what I do notice is this one that we made with the ink stamp, you see these details a lot better than on these ones that we did with the acrylic paint. So maybe that's something to keep in mind in case you want to do something similar. This one I think is the most fun because of this awesome background. That background is made using distress oxides and water. And I think this will actually be a great addition to the other ephemera that I still have to make an urban nature themed junk journal. So if you've never seen these before, I've made all of this ephemera in the December daily that Louise Heinzel and I just hosted together throughout December 1 through 25. I will link that playlist for you below in case you're interested to see that. So I have yet to make a journal. So I think I will keep that in that box and then add that to the journal. So that leaves these two. I think I'll go for this one just because I like the background a bit better. So I'm going to use my tearing ruler to just tear around this image. So let's find a page in this very chunky journal where we can add a very simple collage. Yeah, why not on this one? No, changing my mind. I'm going to do this on a smaller page, I think. Oh, this one is so gorgeous. That would also look amazing. I will keep that one in mind. Ooh, that would be actually really nice because I like the rays here coming out from the back. This is a photo of a real tree, a redwood tree, a Chinese redwood, which is my favorite tree in the botanical gardens which are near me. This would actually be really gorgeous. I think I'm just gonna go for that. Love these tabs that Nadia made, these gold tabs. Let's just find something else to add to it. I have here my box of more or less collage fodder and some other scraps like some wallpapers and stuff. And I already picked some papers out. I think something from here might complicate No, not complicate. Compliment. This image here. I actually love that it says here. It says der erste Erfolg, which means the first success, which is actually really cool to have for a stamp that we just made ourselves. And it was the first try for this particular stamp. So it's actually really cute to have that. Oh, I don't want to cover that. So I think I need to put that in a way to keep that. I'm actually most intrigued whether this would work. So as you can see, this is the kitchen towel. On one of the days in December for December daily, I tried Louise's method of mixing some coffee solution with a refiller of some distress oxide, and I had it in this tiny cap of a bottle and I knocked it over when it was full. So this is what I used to mop that up, and as you can see here, the distress oxide bled yellow, which is a super cool effect. So this is a mixture of coffee and the refiller of the distress oxide ink. And I'm thinking maybe this would be a really cool contrast to make it pop a little bit. I don't know. I know it's a bit weird, nevertheless, or maybe because of that. I just have to try this. But specifically, I want that yellow to pop. Aha, these have more than one ply. Look at that. Oh, then I get 2 of these. How cool. Oh, that's awesome. I have the double amount. Yay. Okay, so I'm just going to try to put this all around the edge. Don't like this straight edge here. That's a no-go. What do we think? I don't know. It's a bit much, or maybe I'll have less showing. Yeah, maybe a little less is better, but this pops, and it's totally this color scheme I have going on in this journal, which I just realized now. So these are the colors I always tend to go for without even thinking about it, obviously. It's just a color combination that I love. So I'm going to just glue these down. So I just used glue stick to glue these down, and I realized they actually have 3 plies, which I never knew about kitchen towels. So now I have these left over to use in other projects. Yay. And for this I'm just using my, what is it called, art glitter glue again. I think that definitely pops with that edge. I'd like to add a little sentiment to this, so I picked some out that I think would work with this theme. These are from my, I think they're called snippets. I will link them for you below. And they come both in like these neutral colors and in blue as well. But I think for this one, a neutral one will stand out more. I really like She Believed She Could, because I believed I could make a stamp, and that's why I could make it. If I go into this thinking I'm never going to be able to do it, then I probably wouldn't have worked. So that's a really good one. Same kind of thing with Because She Could. Good Vibes I like because this gives me good vibes. I don't know. Don't Be Afraid also works for this theme because it's kind of the same concept. Because she believed she could and she wasn't afraid, she was able to do it. Celebrate Life I think is beautiful with a tree image. Let Life Surprise You. Yeah, Be Real Not Perfect. That's also great because this tree is far from perfect. Wonderful Dream I like because this kind of looks like a scene from a dream. And then we have Believe in Yourself, which kind of goes along with the She Believed She Could. And the Wishing I think is cute because this could be a wishing tree as well. So that's a really hard choice. But I think I'm going to have to take one of the Don't Be Afraid or Believe, or She Believed She Could, or Believe in Yourself, because that's kind of what this was about, right? So maybe She Believed She Could. Yep, let's ink that up. I'll use my espresso truffle for this. I think I want to add another little scrap underneath here to just make it come out a little bit more. I could use another one of these. and put it there where there's a little bit of yellow. I'll glue it on first and then I'll do my best to tear around that. Actually, this ties in very nicely with this. So because she believed she could, it worked in the first try, or it was her first success. Because up until then, she didn't believe in herself. She had no success. That's what I'm going with for this page. So of course, the cool thing is you have your own unique stamp that nobody else has. And you can use it as often as you want in a lot of different projects. So I think it's totally worth making your own stamps. It's a lot of fun. It does not take much time, as you just saw. So maybe you give it a try and you can very easily and quickly make a beautiful page in your own journal. Be sure to check out the links of the others. I'm super curious myself to see what everyone else came up with. Enjoy everyone's video and hope to see you back here on another day. I love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!